Three. This is History Talk. So this one, Unit 3 is going to be Human Geography in the United States. This one is going to be talking about definitely what we talked about in the last unit with the United States in spatial terms, and then it's going to be taking that and create a bigger picture of it, of, are that actual geography in there. Lesson 1 is going to be learning to think like a geographer, questions, talking about location, place, regions, movement, human environment interaction. Stuff you sort of learned about last unit. You're going to see how they connect, ways they're connected, stuff like that. In Lesson 2, you're going to be looking at migration, movements, and push and pull factors. Most of the U.S. nowadays are foreign-born, so that way looking at a map of seeing, how many people are foreign-born in states is what you're going to see there as well. You're going to look at the graphic organizer of migration within the United States. Who migrated, when, where, why. Where and why are then divided into smaller subcategories of from where, then to where. Why are your push and pull factors. Push factors are things that push a person out. Pull factors is something that pulls them in, such as the auto industry here. You're going to see some of the reasons and why, such as Native American removal. The Underground Railroad is another one that most people know. Then, in Lesson 2, you're going to be looking at and analyzing what a primary resource is. Primary resource is something that, was written during the time of the event. So you're going to look at definitely something from more the Potawatomi tribe. Definitely what happened to them, and living in Michigan and then being forced down to Oklahoma. Definitely is going to be something there, which is a primary resource. Lesson 3, you're definitely going to be looking at why people not migrated throughout the U.S., but came to the U.S. in the first place. A lot of people more came after the Civil War, which was a lot of Europeans. Then towards the 1900s, Hispanic people showed up. China showed up around the 1870s, and then more and more, hence creating the melting pot as we are now. You're going to look at push and pull factors, except in a bigger picture than just migration throughout the United States. You're going to look at why, a German would want to come live in the U.S. and work in the U.S. compared to his own hometown. You're going to see things that these immigrants brought with them, inventions that we use a lot now, pizza. Lesson 4, you're going to look at more culture influences that they've had. So, bringing more of the different types of Christianity, essentially. The influence they hold, sort of their religions, their influences, their morals, stuff like that. Lesson 5 is going to talk about how geography influences the culture of who lives there. You're kind of be looking at, the Great Plains, which is one way that the landscape definitely twisted the culture of that area, with it being so hard and dry and very unfertile. You're going to be thinking definitely about possible challenges from going from one place to another. Thinking about those, the change in environment and possible challenges that will overcome and happen through those migrations. Lesson 6 is going to be a lot more on the natural resources of that area and how they influence migrations as well. We're going to be looking a lot at your natural resources, of course, water, with how that influenced migrations throughout the U.S. Agriculture definitely was a big part in some because, at the time most of these were happening, we didn't have a central supermarket. You grew what you ate. So, if your climate isn't custom fit to grow food, then you're not going to be able to survive or support animals or crops, whatever you need to survive. Saltwater, you're going to learn about how saltwater impacted even more, even though it essentially is a negative factor. Another really important resource that impacted migrations was oil and natural gas. We're going to be looking at how oil being found around the United States definitely changed how people moved and where they moved to. Lesson 7 is definitely going to be human interaction with with their environment. So looking at changes from, one century to the next, human interaction with that, the shaping of the land, the erosion that we cause, the timeline of what's happened, the industrial advancements that led to different inventions that influenced the landscape as well, that we didn't know until later, now that we've completely changed them. And that's Unit 3.